Well, while the UPS strike crippled deliveries around the country, President Clinton did not intervene. But tonight, he is taking action to make sure Amtrak trains keep moving for at least another 60 days. He assigned an order imposing a cooling-off period and heading off a possible strike on September 5th. It's easier for him legally to step into the Amtrak dispute because a strike affecting transportation to a significant part of the country could be considered a national emergency. Also making news around America tonight, a 2-day-old baby taken from a New Jersey hospital yesterday is safe and now reunited with his mother. The suspect, an unidentified 16-year-old girl who had struck up a conversation with the mother, who then asked the teen to watch her baby while she showered. Afterward, the two were gone, the girl and the baby boy. Late last night, the teen's mother called police, leading them to the baby. Tonight, the suspect is in juvenile detention.
A dangerous chase involving a high bridge in Washington, D.C. In the end, police got their man, a Moroccan driving a car for the Qatar embassy, but it wasn't easy. The suspect hit several police cruisers and then ran from his car and jumped off a bridge. Police hauled the man from the water and slapped on the cuffs.
A bit of World War II history uncovered in Florida is detonated today. Dredging off the Space Coast turns up a missile and several sea mines, some dating back 50 years. These munitions were used during beach invasion exercises. Army specialists brought the artifacts to a firing range where they were safely taken care of.
They thought they were getting their dream homes.
Yes, but instead, some people in one Torrington neighborhood say what they really got was a nightmare. We have a NightBEAT reporter, Jennifer Watson, who spoke to both the developers and these owners about this development disaster. Jennifer.
People tell us they are living in new homes with more problems than they can count. The developer tells us he delivered what he promised before the company was dissolved.
There are several homeowners that their property was left just like this.
Instead of proudly showing off this first home for he and his family, Rob Moranino gives a tour, pointing out problem after problem.
My son can't go out and play because there's nails all over the yard. We've also called the DEP, the state DEP, about that pile, that landfill. If you notice the white cable going across the yard, that's my telephone line, which was put in February. This whole thing fell. It was about tilted about like this.
With all of you on it?
With all of us on it. And I'm leaning forward and saying, get off the deck, get off the deck.
The Moraninos moved into their home in February with promises from the developer, Cinnamon Ridge, that all outside work would be done when the weather warmed up. But this spring, Cinnamon Ridge Corporation was dissolved. What disappeared along with it was the Moraninos' hope of getting their home finished.
He told us that our home was left like this because he went bankrupt.
The company filed bankruptcy?
No.
No? The company?
I don't believe so. I don't know at this time. I don't know.
Gene Arganese is the general manager of Cinnamon Ridge, a business his family owns. Didn't some people complain that the homes were poorly built?
No, not at all. Matter of fact, the houses were built very well.
All throughout this 72-lot neighborhood, signs of construction, but there is none. The trucks, the garbage, the construction material, the downed trees, left in empty lots next to new homes. Most disturbing to people who live here, next to where their children play, an open foundation, unfinished, uncovered, 10 feet deep.
He fell all the way in. My husband had to go and get him out.
You didn't get it. That's amazing.
He scratched his belly.
Susan Gagnon's 7-year-old son was lucky. She and other neighbors are meeting to try to get some action. They say Gene Arganese took their money and left them with unfinished, unrepaired, and dangerous homes.
3 times we've had ourselves full of raw sewage.
It will be a year in October, and we have never gotten a phone call or anything.
We had a judgment in our favor against Cinnamon Ridge for $2,500. We have not been able to collect the money.
Now, every home in this neighborhood has a 1-year warranty. Most people say they need repairs on their homes, but Arganese will not return their calls. Gene Arganese says money was left in the bank for the Moraninos to finish their home. The amount left was a little more than $3,000. The Moraninos are paying an additional $12,000 out of their pocket to finish. Information from tonight's meeting will be sent to the Attorney General, who will assign a lawyer to the case. And the Moraninos say they've been told that if the issues are not resolved, Arganese could lose his contractor's license. So obviously this is a continuing issue that has several people upset and both sides disagreeing over what was said and done.
Not exactly home sweet home.
Not at all.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. Last week it was a burger recall. Tonight, the plant that produced the suspect burgers is shut down. Hudson Foods is recalling an estimated 25 million pounds of beef, though investigators say the E. coli bacteria contamination did not originate at the Nebraska plant. Still, the Agriculture Department says there are problems with meat handling, record keeping, and safety testing at Hudson. Stores and restaurants around the country have stopped selling Hudson Foods beef.
Some are calling it a watershed development at Florida's trial against the tobacco industry. The state wants millions of dollars for smoking-related illnesses. Well, today, the head of the largest tobacco company, Philip Morris, takes the stand to defend his company and admits under oath something about cigarette smoking that's never before been mentioned by the industry. Take a listen.
Would Philip Morris agree that a single American citizen who smoked their products for 30 or more years, a single one, has ever died of a disease caused in part by smoking cigarettes?
I think there's a fair chance one would have, yes. Might have.
How about 1,000?
Might have.
100,000?
Well, might have.
Wow. Well, he also went on to say that if cigarettes were proven to cause cancer, he would stop producing them until the cancer-causing ingredient could be isolated and removed.
A Chicago man is taking his wife to court to get her to stop smoking. Retired Army Colonel Richard Thomas says he loves his wife of 43 years dearly and is terrified that she will die from a smoking-related illness unless she quits. He's hoping a judge will order her to quit based on statutes in the Federal Clean Air Act. Sally Thomas smokes 5 or 6 cigarettes a day.
Well, straight ahead here on the Night Beat tonight, stay with us. Bruce will be in to show us what tomorrow and our weekend will look like.
Lots of rain today throughout the state, as we reported, but that was not a problem for this young golfer. Channel 3's Joe Tessitore has the details on a teenage champion coming up on Channel 3 Eyewitness News, Connecticut's news station.
Welcome back to Eyewitness News, where 3 Live WeatherNet helps us show how much rain fell today. Good soaking rain across the entire state. Where in Hartford we got 1.17 inches of rain since midnight, and a very cool rain. We were in the 60s today, and right now it's 63 degrees. Elsewhere around the state, so look at this. Meriden almost 2 inches, over 1 3/4 inches in Milford, over 1.5 inches in Groton. 0.65 inches in Goshen seems to be the least reported. Many locations getting between 1 and 2 inches. Temperatures, as I said, highs only in the 60s, and that's where readings are right now. The cool spot is Goshen with 59. Waterbury is 60. These temperatures will go down a little bit as the night goes on, and we could have some locally dense fog patches, especially if we get some partial clearing overhead. Not everywhere in the country was cold, though. Take a look at the maps. You can see that here in the Northeast, 50s and 60s, but off to our west, it was hot. Denver, 89 degrees, and Phoenix came in with 108 degrees for an afternoon high. Here in the Northeast, all the heavy rain is to our north. Got a few dying out showers moving into the Hudson Valley across New Jersey as well. They should kind of die out before they reach us. However, we are dealing with another storm system across the eastern Great Lakes area. That's an unstable situation that could produce some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, especially if we get some daytime heating. You'll have to watch out for that along the shoreline tomorrow. Air temperature in the 70s, and we'll have a southwest wind 15 to 20 knots tomorrow, with high tide coming in early to mid-afternoon. Here's your forecast then as we head toward the end of the week, and a drier day for tomorrow. Tonight, some partial clearing with areas of fog, 56 to 62, and tomorrow, overall not bad, a mix of clouds and sun, but there is that chance for an afternoon or evening thunderstorm. Highs in the 70s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, 55 to 60. And Saturday should be a day where we have partial sun with perhaps a pop-up thunderstorm in the 70s. Overall, the weekend looks pretty good, especially Sunday. And so does Monday and Tuesday. Look like nice days with temperatures getting back to where they should be for this time of the year. Today in the 60s, the normal high is still about 82 degrees.
Felt like October today.
It was cold, an unusual storm.
Thanks, Bruce. It's an annual event, not the Rose Bowl, but the ranking of colleges by U.S. News & World Report. Yale University ties for 3rd, and among liberal arts colleges, Wesleyan University ranks number 14. Trinity College is tied for 22nd, and Connecticut College comes in at 27th. Here are the schools at the top. Harvard and Princeton are tied for 1st. Yale and Duke tied for 3rd. And Stanford, where Chelsea Clinton will be attending this fall, takes the number 5 position.
So there you are, and here he is.
I only know rankings in terms of college hoop and football. It's sports marketing at its best. New Haven Hockey has a new name and a new look. We'll show you what it is. You be the judge. Plus, it's almost real football. You know, the pressure-packed, pulsating Patriots kind. The last preseason game is here, and not even Sweet 16, but her swing is as sweet as it gets. Connecticut's very own golf wonder will introduce you to the new amateur champ. NightBEAT Sports is next. Over the course of the past 3 years, there were times when Bill Parcells, a.k.a. the Big Tuna, was the New England Patriots. Now the Pats are standing on their own. Preseason finale in Philly, and that Patriots defense gets a good dose of Ricky Waters from Detmer. Look at the moves. Waters, 24 yards later, scoots into the end zone. 7-zip Eagles. Interesting little scene here. Pats wideout Terry Glenn looks like the victim, but he would fight back, and that doesn't go over well. Glenn was tossed out of the game. Curtis Martin was there to make up for it from a yard out. You can bet you'll see plenty of this. Patriots offense styling on the scoreboard, 28-14. New Haven hockey has an identity. Joining the AHL Hartford Wolfpack now is the Beast of New Haven. Say what? Yes, the new name and logo of New Haven's AHL team was unveiled tonight. It is the Beast of New Haven, not the New Haven Beast, not the Ice Gargoyles. It's the Beast of New Haven. Get it, got it, good. Team colors, midnight blue, deep red, stone gray. Interesting. Sometime in the near future, there could be Nike commercials that echo, "I am Elizabeth Janangelo." Who, you say? It's Connecticut's Tiger Woods. Today's final round of the Connecticut Women's Amateur Championship rained out, leaving 13-year-old Elizabeth Janangelo as the champion. She was the only golfer to shoot even par 72 in the first 2 rounds at the Simsbury Farm Country Club. Now at 13 years old, she is the youngest Connecticut champ ever.
I guess I really don't know. Since it's my first one, I don't know if it's a big deal or not. I think it is, but it's kind of nice, but it's all right.
Oh, it's a big deal. Tony Phillips, who was originally suspended by his team after his recent drug arrest, was back in Anaheim's lineup tonight against the Yankees. Before taking to the field, he said, "I'm not really feeling comfortable. I'm extremely embarrassed." In the first inning tonight, early offense for the Yanks, Bernie Williams. Off knuckleballer Dennis Springer. He's no Wade Boggs. Bernie's 16th of the year, but the highlight of the night is this guy. What in the world is this? You know, I like bubble wrap just as much as the next guy, but this is ridiculous. As for the score right now, it's not ridiculous. It's a tight one. 2-1 Yanks in the 6th. Red Sox in Oakland, Boston looking for their 7th straight win. Sox were up 1-zip. All goes downhill from there. Mark Bellhorn off Steve Avery. Thus a scoreboard that looks like this. Oakland 13-6. Mets split a doubleheader with the Dodgers. One last college hoop note. Courtney Alexander, the troubled Virginia guard, denies a radio report he's transferring to UConn. However, UConn is on his list. Coach Calhoun has talked to him. We will update this story tomorrow. Courtney Alexander is an outstanding basketball player.
Interesting.
From Virginia, right?
From Virginia, but he has had his troubles recently, charged with assaulting his girlfriend. So we'll update that story tomorrow.
And it's the Beast of New Haven.
The Beast.
The Beast. We got it. Thank you, Joe, and we'll be right back.
When it comes to sex, some people fear for their lives.
I'm afraid. I really believe he needs to wear a condom.
Some fear for their future.
I was born with HIV.
And others have no fears at all.
I had about 40, 50 women, and I never burned anybody. I never got burned.
For many, safe sex is a way of life. But for these guests, it's out of the question.
If it's your destiny to die, then God's going to let you die.
On the next Maury Povich Show.
Join us at 9 right here on Channel 3.
On tonight's NightBEAT newsreel, the Cadillac Ranch is hitting the road. The pop art tourist attraction on Route 66 in Texas is being moved down the road. The 10 graffiti-covered Cadillacs were planted in a wheat field there back in 1974. The creator is transferring the cars to another field so they'll be farther away from the growing city of Amarillo.
And people in Salisbury, England have been suffering from an extended case of the doldrums, it seems. See, they say their town is just plain boring. Well, so what did the mayor do? He hired this guy, a jester, an old remedy for the blues, a court jester whose job it is to try to cheer people up with some jokes and some juggling whenever they appear down, and occasionally get on a unicycle while he's doing all that.
Looks like it might be working. Who knows?
We'll see.
That'll do it for the
We'll
NightBEAT.
check in.
Thanks for joining us.
Stay tuned for our late night jester, David Letterman, next.
The New England Weather Service, Connecticut's most accurate forecast.